Hey, wall shuffles without being able to get off your board. So the way this works is you will be tilting your skater into the wall and then turning back. The reason for this is, is because oh my god, because you can't normally, you know, wally the same wall twice. As you can see, when you do a wally off of a wall, it pushes you away from it. So what we're going to do is we're going to manipulate our skater so that that doesn't happen, or whatever. So the idea is that when you are volleying, you are turning into the wall and then turning back, and yeah, and your collision is again touching the same wall. So there's a few things to know. First, I'll just go over the basics, and then I will try and explain the technique, and then do a couple, whatever, show it a little bit. So the first thing you got to know is which direction you're tilting and turning is based on which side the wall is on. So if the wall is on the right and you're tilting up, you turn into the wall. And this is just in general. If you're tilting up, you turn into the wall. If you're tilting down, you turn away from the wall. So because the wall is on the right, if I'm tilting up, I'm holding up and then pressing R1 to tilt into the wall, and then L1 to turn back on the downward arc of my wally to reattach to the wall. And then if I'm holding down, if the wall is on the right, I'm pressing L1 to turn away from the wall, and then R1 to turn back to reconnect. This applies to every wall, and obviously you change which direction you're holding or pressing, which direction you're turning based on your tilt and the side of the wall that you're on, okay? Yeah. So the main thing you have to remember here is that the way it's working is like can be object dependent. It's a little tough in 3+4 because there's not a lot of great wall rides. But each wall can be a little different. But for the most part, if you kind of follow the same fundamental things and you practice, you'll be able to do it anywhere, and it shouldn't be super challenging. But it is challenging. So the idea is that when you are in a wall ride, you are reattaching on your way down. So the downward arc is when you're going to reattach. This is not necessarily a golden rule, but this is the easiest way to do it, and it seems to be the most consistent way, is that on the downward arc of your wally is when you want to turn back and reattach, or so hold triangle in this case. So the main idea here is I'll try and go through it step by step, just the things that you need to do, and then I'll show you the easiest place to do. You're actually at the easiest place to practice it. Anyways, so you want to do a wall ride, and then while you're in the wall ride, and this is important, you have to hold the direction that you're going to be tilting while you are in the wall ride, so that way you start tilting immediately when you wally, right? So we're going to just do that. Hold up and go. So go in a wall ride, hold up, and then wally, okay? So that's going to make sure that we're tilting, enough. And so that's step one, okay? And we'll do it with I don't use down too much because my controller's fucked. But you can do the same thing with down, depending on whatever's, works for you, or if you want to do it both ways, whatever. So that's step one. Step two is so I'll just show you with a wally without the tilt, okay? Turn right, turn left. Just a 45-degree left, right. Little tap, right, left, okay? So that's the next part. Now, the thing is when you turn right, okay, you don't need to be holding triangle. It's when you are turning back is when you want to hold triangle, okay? So, and holding triangle is easier than just tapping it, because the timing can be, you don't know exactly when it's going to work, so if you just hold it, it's easier. So yeah, so just work on that, and you want to go about 45 degrees, like that, and then back. If you tilt, or if you turn a bit over 45 degrees, It might, it still works in most cases. In fact, in 4, it feels like you actually want to turn a little bit over 45 degrees for it to work. But anyways, that's besides the point. So again, we, Wally and tilt, okay, and then Wally, turn, and turn back, and hold triangle. You can hold triangle the whole time if you really want. It's whatever, it's up to you. So now let's add it all together. Okay, holding up, tilt, and turn back, turn back, and hold triangle. And there you go. So 1, 2, not too hard, right? And the timing, you see, I'm going on the downward arc most of the time. It's not great for getting more air, although it does feel like you can use shifties to kind of allow you to get more air somehow. I'm not really sure on that. I got to look into that more. But anyways, to practice these, the best place to practice them is right here off this ramp at the beginning of pinball. You use the boost. Oops, I didn't need to do the thing, but whatever. But that's almost, it's almost a guaranteed connection off of this ramp off the launch pad, because it gives you a nice long wall ride with a lot of speed and a good arc, and the wall is particularly generous when it comes to the, like, letting the player get inside of it, basically. So yeah, just start here and just kind of get a feel for it here, and yeah, try and chain more. Chaining them can take obviously takes a little more practice. Sometimes it feels like you actually have to turn a little less, because when you start your next wall rides after your first one, like when you're shuffling or whatever, it feels like you're wallying already turned a little bit, but whatever. So yeah, that's kind of the idea there. Give it a shot, try it out. If there's any questions, which I'm sure there will be, because I'm not doing a great job of explaining it all, but that's the gist of it. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions or whatever, and give it a shot. It's neat, it's cool, yeah, have fun. Okay, bye. Oh wait, I'm gonna try this and see if I can do this. One extra bonus trick. Nope, again, motherfucker. Why is this not working suddenly? Ugh. There we go. Upside down wall ride. I'm gonna just put that in there, but anyways, bye.